Hello everyone, welcome back to Cyberveil, and I am back again with another interesting video and topic that we are going to discuss in this video, and that is going to be the OWASP top 10. Yes guys, this is going to be a topic for this particular video, and this is a part 2 of day 14 content which we are going to discuss. And for the OWASP top 10, before we proceed with what are the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities that we are going to discuss, I would like to tell you what is the full form of OWASP and why do we need OWASP, or what is basically the OWASP. So OWASP is basically stated as the open web application software, I guess security or software, I don't know. Yeah, security project. I'm very bad with full form sometimes. So basically, OWASP stands for Open Web Application Security Project. And why do we need this? It is a non-profitable organization. Firstly, it is a non-profitable organization organization dedicated okay dedicated to improve the security of a software. That's why it releases, after every few years it releases a list of top 10 vulnerabilities which are recently found, or which are mostly found in the web applications. That is what basically OWASP is, guys. I hope it is clear. And why do we need it? It is a kind of standard awareness document. We need it to document our vulnerabilities that have been found, to spread the awareness amongst the users as well as the security researchers in order to work accordingly. And it is a standard awareness document. Yeah, standard awareness document. You just give me a second. Document that highlights the critical security risks. It is a standard awareness document that highlights the critical security risks to risks of the web applications. Yeah. So I hope you have understood that what is OWASP and what kind of organization is this, and why do we need OWASP top 10. Now moving on further, we are going to discuss about the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. And if I'm not wrong, or if I guess I am not wrong, because I have studied recently that OWASP top 10 OWASP is going to release 2025 version of these top 10 vulnerabilities, and they're going to be releasing it sooner or later, I don't know, but they're going to release it in 2025 for sure, because I have read it somewhere, as I have also seen it on their main website, where there was a notification stated that OWASP top 10 is updating their list of vulnerabilities, which is going to be released in the 2025. So firstly, till the time we'll be discussing about the top vulnerabilities that are currently known to be the top vulnerabilities. Number one is going to be the injections, as we have already discussed in the previous video also what are injections, but it's okay, I'm going to show you what are injections, and I'm also going to tell you what injections are actually and what kind of injections are there available. Number two, we are going to discuss about is the broken just give me a second, guys. Broken authentication. Broken authentication is another vulnerability. Number three is going to be the sensitive data exposure, I guess. Yeah, data exposure. Number four is going to be number fourth over here is XML external entities, that is XXE. XML external entities. Yeah, guys, don't think that I have remembered all of these by heart. No, I am taking some kind of help in order to understand, to remember, and to write it down in front of you. Do not think that I have remembered, because it is also tough for me to remember all these, because sometimes these skip my mind, and I am also not a god that I, or you can say a proper expert that who can remember all these vulnerabilities by heart. So I don't remember these by heart. So I'm taking a little bit of help in like I know all of those vulnerabilities, but I do not remember the name, and by you can say also by the sequence. So I have to keep a note of these by sequence, and I'm sharing that here. So then comes the broken access control, and after that, on the sixth sequence comes the security misconfigurations, which we have already discussed in the previous video, but I am going to tell you here as well. And number 7 is going to be, you can say, the cross-site scripting, that is XSS, which was also discovered and stated, because these are some of the common top 10 common vulnerabilities, sorry, not top 10 but common vulnerabilities, like XSS, security misconfiguration and injections. And another one for the 8th sequence is insecure deserialization. Insecure deserialization, yeah. Then comes on the ninth point, there is another ninth vulnerability is, you can say, using component with non-vulnerabilities, or outdated versions or components. Components, yeah. Then comes the 10th point, which states insufficient logging and monitoring. Insufficient logging and monitoring. And I guess this is clear by its name itself, right? नाम से ही समझ आ रहा है what it is basically, right? And now we are going to discuss each and every one of them step by step. Like, let's say firstly we are going to discuss about is injections. What are injections and why do we need injections, you can say, or how do the attackers use injections? Guys, this is for the educational purpose. I'm repeating it again, you should use it for the educational purpose only. Do not take out a benefit out of all these things using them as a malicious intent or activity. Please use them in a legal way and an ethical way. You are ethical hackers, you are not attackers here, so just take care of them in a responsible manner. What basically is injections are the untrusted data, or you can say malicious payloads or queries, or you can say that these are the untrusted data, tricking an interpreter to execute unintended commands. Tricking interpreter is basically us, the users who are using that particular website or web app. And what do the attacker do is they basically trick the use users to use or execute you can say what unintended commands or payloads, as I have mentioned earlier as well. Payloads, they trick the users into putting or executing these unintentional commands or payloads into the system and letting it to hack their system. That's what injections are. Number 2, moving on further, we are going to discuss about is the broken authentication. According to the list we are going to discuss, and broken authentication is basically what, as I have two-tower authentication, guys. In simpler words, it is a kind of joke, but yeah, it's a kind of broken authentication where there is an authentication which can be broken or bypassed easily because of least security privileges implemented on it, or preventive measures implemented on it. So broken authentication is a weak authentication method weak authentication method allowing attackers to compromise the system. I explained it in a simpler way. Just give me a second, yeah. allowing attackers to compromise users account. So that was it for the broken authentication. Moving on further, it's the point that is sensitive data exposure. And now, as its name itself is suggesting, what could be the sensitive data exposure, guys? Sensitive data exposure means the vulnerabilities that are leading to the personal data information or the confidential data, which can lead to a data breach, privacy issues, and also a kind of problem that could lead to financial data loss or reputation loss as well. So that is what sensitive data exposure is. So I will say inadequate inadequate protection, or you can say inadequate measures of sensitive information, because what we do is, sometimes we use very common passwords or weak passwords that could lead our system to be compromised, and that's how our sensitive information could leak, like personal data or financial data in which the credit card or debit card details are compromised. So I hope you got it. Moving on further, we have the fourth vulnerability, that is XXE, that is XML external entities. Now I'll explain what is it. XML external entities, and that is also known as XXE. And what is XXE, guys? XXE is a kind of vulnerability that is vulnerability from poorly configured parsers. Now what is parsers? You can say, just let's take an example. You want to implement any kind of external entity, implement any kind of any kind of external entity onto the server or web app. Yeah, what happens is, if those parsers to set these external entities are broken either or you can say they are not configured properly or poorly configured that can lead to this vulnerability. So I hope this is also clear. Moving on to the fifth point, that is broken access control. We all have heard about broken access control a lot, and we know what broken access control is. Broken access control is basically improper enforcement of users' permission, where people are given wrong permissions, or sometimes due to the poorly configurations of the user permissions, and unauthorized access could take place. So basically, broken access control is basically a kind of improper enforcement of user permissions, which could lead to unauthorized access and misuse of the privileges. Let's say the user who should be given the role of user 1 is by chance given with the role of admin, or you can say, or they have some protocols or some privileges of admin as well, which could somehow lead to this vulnerability. I hope this is clear and you have understood what I mean by broken access control. Next, moving on is we have security misconfiguration, and security misconfiguration is something that I have also repeated in the also told you in the previous video, but I'm going to repeat it here as well for your help and understanding. So security misconfigurations are the incorrect, sorry, my accent changes, sorry guys. Improper enforcement of the, you can say, uh, or the security improper enforcement of the security settings, exposing the application to risk, exposing the application to risks. In simpler terms, security misconfiguration are some of the settings which are not implemented, uh, in a better way or properly, or which are not implemented in a better way or properly, um, exposing and which exposes the application to risks. That is what security misconfigurations are. Then coming to the seventh point is XSS. As I have already told you, cross-site scripting. That means injecting malicious scripts. As I have shown you the example of one script in the previous video, that script alert one or cookie, whatever you want, and to cross-site scripting, injecting malicious scripts into the web page, leading to arbitrary script execution in the web browser. I'll try to show you an example if I could in the upcoming hands-on session. And there is one announcement, guys. As I'm a bit busy with some of the tasks of my personal things, so I want to be able to release the video on Friday. And instead of Friday, as I have said you earlier, that I will be not putting on the videos or like uploading the videos on Saturday, Sundays. But for this week, I'm going to make an exception and I'm going to release the video on Saturday instead of Friday, because I have some piece of work on Friday and I won't be able to release that particular video on Friday. So I'll be creating a video and releasing it on Saturday. And if there comes the if I got some time, I would release the video on Sunday as well, because I have a piece of work on Monday as well. So bear with me for few weeks or few days, because I am a bit busy and have some work rolled over my sleeves. So I'm so sorry for that, but this is one of the really important announcement, because you guys might think where she got lost and she's not releasing the video or uploading the video on Friday. So there is a reason, and I have already told you in the starting as well, I won't let you guys sacrifice with your studies. So I'll try my best to release the videos whenever I'll get time. And as I have told you, that there might be chances that I won't be able to upload videos, so due to some unavoidable circumstances. So I'll make it up for you guys on Saturday and Sunday if I won't be able to release it on Friday and Monday. So bear with me, guys, and thank you so much for bearing with me from a longer period of time. So now coming back to the topic, and for the eighth topic, that is insecure deserialization. Insecure deserialization. Okay, I made a mistake. Deserialization. No, that's not a spelling. Deserialization. Deserialization is okay. There is some kind of mistake I am making. Deserial. Okay, serialization. Yeah, I sometimes mix a lots and lots of. Why is it showing again deserialization? Yeah. Insecure deserialization is something that exploiting data deserialization processing to execute arbitrary codes. When the serial deserialization is deserialization is not properly set up, then there are chances for the arbitrary codes to for the arbitrary codes to get executed on the web browser. As I have already told you that in the XSS what happens is that arbitrary script executes in the web browser. So say similarly insecure deserialization is where when there is it is because of insecure deserialization that you are able to see that arbitrary script is getting executed, and that's how XSS and insecure deserialization is connected. So I hope you guys have understood what basically is this. Moving on further, we have is the ninth point, that is basically using outdated outdated just give me a second, yeah, outdated using outdated version or softwares. That means when we use outdated libraries, or yeah, when we sometimes uses outdated libraries or software in our applications or websites, what happens is they uh, they are sometimes exploited to the non vulnerabilities abilities that could lead to the exploitation, that could lead to the misconfigurations and exploitations. Moving on further, we are going to discuss about the 10th and the last vulnerability, that is insufficient logging and monitoring. I have already stated that you guys are smart enough that you guys are able to understand it with its name itself, that insufficient logging and monitoring. If there is a if there is any kind of lack in proper logging or monitoring capabilities, data breach can data breach can happen. So that is lack of improper yeah, improper logging and monitoring capabilities can lead to data breach. This is what basically insufficient logging and monitoring means. So that's it for this particular video, part number 2, and we have already discussed what are the injections, broken authentication, and sensitive data exposure, XML entities, XML external entities, that is XXE, double XE, broken access control, improper enforcement of user permissions, security misconfiguration, XSS, insecure deserialization, and using outdated version of software, insufficient logging and monitoring. So these are the top 10 vulnerabilities of Open Web Application Security Project, and these were released I guess in the 2023. These are the 2023 updated version, top 10 documentation, and the top 10 OWASP top 10 2025 documentation is going to be released soon, so keep an eye on it and keep on checking when it is releasing, or if it is released, please do let me know. Please do let me know also in the comment section, so that I can also update my OWASP top 10. But if I am not wrong, it is not released yet. If it will be released, I'll definitely get to know sooner or later, as I am keeping an eye as well. So if you like the video, guys, please do subscribe to my channel, and also hit the like button. Please do share it with your friends and colleagues, so that they can also understand and be aware about the OWASP top 10. And if you are ready to hop onto the hands-on, do comment me, and also share your precious reviews with me, so that I can understand what things are lacking, and also what things are good for you guys, that you are getting benefit out of particular things. So till the time, bye bye guys, and see you in the next upcoming video. Take care.